Hello guys, Prepper Madness back at you here today. I'm going to do a video here on um, what 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 we're doing right now um, to, uh, to to help us through a little bit of a slow time in the economy. Uh, I'm sure there are many others of you out there who are experiencing the same thing. Um, so what I've done myself is, as you know from some other videos that I put up, I've been doing a little bit of blacksmithing. Um, we've recently built that camp up in the bush there. It's quite a ways. It's quite a ways away from here, and there's tons and tons of uh, blown down timber up there that we're going to be cutting up into firewood and selling. Not necessarily this year. I might start selling that in the summer. In the summer next year, when a lot of other guys won't even might not even be able to afford to go out and do that sort of thing to make a little bit of a living at. So anyhow, here's what here's a few of the things that are in various stages of finish, shall we say. What I do is I usually spend at my forge. I'll go and spend about 2 days just strictly forging, and then I'll spend the rest of my time doing all the finish work, all the grinding and the polishing and a little bit of shaping and stuff like that. So anyhow, I'll be quiet. I'll show you these things here right now. All right. Right here, I'm making a fairly large butcher knife for a customer. It's this one here in particular is made from spring steel. It's made out of a spring. It's very hard, as you can see, and a little bit more work is going to be done on it here quite soon. I'm going to take it back into the forge and give my handle just a little more of a curve right here, so it'll match up more with the point. It won't take much though. All right. Another person wanted a small chopper for chopping vegetables and bits of steak and stuff like that. And this is what they drew me. This is what they wanted, and this is what they're going to get. This one is made from this one here. Yeah, this one's spring steel also. I'll be polishing it up and putting a handle on it and heading her out. This one here is made from a large circular saw blade. The guy who wanted this originally, you can see I've got a little bit of grind shaping to do and stuff over here, but not a big deal. The guy who wanted this originally had to back out because his wife wouldn't let him buy a knife. But that's no big deal. I'll be able to sell that at the Christmas sale here at the farmers market. Of course, I made this cleaver. We'll be doing some more grinding and finish work obviously on it. I just basically all I did is just put it on the belt sander and cleaned it up a little so I can see what has to be done. And this thing here, kind of an odd shape, but this is the drawing that the customer gave me. This is what he wants. He wanted a cross between a cleaver and a kitchen knife. So you see it's got the rocking blade and it's heavy enough to chop with. This right here is just a railway spike knife, and it's just been rough forged. I haven't touched it with anything. And oh yeah, right over here, made this barbecue style fork. I haven't even touched it yet. It's just rough forged right now. these sort of things. And you've seen this in another video. This is a bushcraft knife. I'll try to get the glare off of it. There we go. Yeah, this is a bushcraft knife that I made out of a large circular saw blade that was out of it was off an old head rig mill. I'll get the whole thing in. There we go. And all that, what looks like pitting in there, that's just me denting it up with the, or texturing it, that's the proper word, with my ball peen. This is an exact drawing of the knife the guy wanted. He's going to be using it as a bushcraft knife. Like it's it looks a little rough right now because I've been testing it out. He asked me to before I sent it to him, and it's really performed well. I'm very pleased with this type of steel. Very pleased. Holds an edge like unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, what else have I got here to show that I've been smithing? Oh yeah, I've made just a ton of these. A ton of these little crosses from railway spikes, and people are just loving them. Of course, little point on the bottom so you can drive it into your gate post and have your cross there, or you can go hunting vampires, I suppose. Some things we do ourselves, as far as preparedness goes. So what we've been doing lately here is every 2 weeks when we go in, or 2 weeks or a month. Usually about a month we go in to get groceries in town. It's about all the socializing I can stand. So what we do is we'll go and we'll buy a bag of apples, 5-pound bag of apples, 5-pound bag of oranges, and this is just an example, right? And we put them in our dehydrator. I'll post a picture up, show you what kind of dehydrator I have. And we dehydrate them, and of course throw in the oxy absorber and vacuum seal, right? Out of the garden, we've done a whole bunch of dehydrated potatoes. I'll actually give you a harvest tally here at the end of this video. I finally got everything weighed and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so potatoes. Oh yeah, lots of purple potatoes this year. I really like the purple potatoes. There we go. Kind of shiny and stuff in here. Same thing. We got probably about 4 of those Rubbermaid totes right full of just potatoes, really. Yeah, so that kind of thing. And of course the wife, she's making our own shampoo and body wash to save a few dollars each month on these sort of things. You know, laundry soap, liquid hand soap, shampoo, the body wash. I don't know what the difference is between body wash and soap. Soap is soap, or even shampoo and soap. Who cares? it cleans. But that sort of stuff. So yeah, here just quickly moving on to the harvest tally. So our harvest tally for this year, we got 87 pounds of tomatoes. Carrots, we got 112 pounds. Beets, 48 pounds. Onions, oh, I must have brushed it off. 28 pounds of onions. Potatoes was 1,640 pounds. Yeah, huge amount, huge amount. That's the only thing that really did good this year. Just a screwed up summer, very cold summer. Pumpkins, 132 pounds of pumpkins and 42 pounds of squash. Yeah, that's about it. So what we did with the harvest is we dehydrated, canned, and left some out raw, just for consumption. Use up all the raw stuff first, and then start using the canned and dehydrated and things like that. So it sounds like a lot with the potatoes, but really when you're feeding how many 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people, you can go through that quite fast. We found that dehydrating, as far as space, storage space goes, was probably our best option. So that's how we divided that up. Mainly dehydrated. I think the wife canned about 3 dozen quart jars of potatoes, that sort of thing, you know. And then of course there's the venison that we've harvested so far this year, right around the 300-pound mark altogether, and again, among 7 people, that's not a lot of meat. Oh, there's a little tip for you guys living in Alberta that can't afford a hunting license and tags. Just go into the local Fish and Wildlife office and get what's called a subsistence tag. All right, and you can go out and get yourself a doe or antlerless whitetail with no problems. Okay. All right, so that's. I can't really think of anything else to share. Oh, right, yeah. Of course, we also cut up like probably 4 cut, split, and piled 4 cords extra of firewood. Now, the reason we're doing this is so that later on, as the winter goes on, there's always those people who didn't quite get enough firewood for the year, and I'll sell it. And if I don't sell it, well, then I'll use it next year. Oh, and it'll save a little bit of that workload, perhaps, for collecting the firewood next year. I'm always trying to stay ahead just a little bit on everything I can. So that's. Oh, one more thing to show in the blacksmithing department here. Some of you guys will get a kick out of this. Got to do just a tiny little more work on this puppy. Won't get her in the camera properly. I'll back it up. There we go. A little bit more work on this puppy here, but this really heavy-duty tomahawk. It's almost a Viking style. I forged this out of a leaf spring. So it's solid carbon. 5150 carbon steel. It's really tough. And those are just some small ideas. I know I had mentioned before about the firewood selling and guys cutting each other's throats to sell the firewood. But what I'm watching right now is that a lot of these guys that were cutting other guys' throats, I knew this was going to happen. I went through this as a young guy in BC when I was selling firewood there. Is they went to the wayside because they could no longer afford to go do it, and so that's cut competition down a lot. And some of the guys that were were way overpriced and wouldn't budge on their prices are now goodbye also, because no one's going to buy from them. It's you know, they're out there looking for fast, for big dollars really fast, when they're going to have to start learning to buckle down, put their prices to what the economy can bear. All right. I'm not going to notice. I never gave you any prices on what I sell for. I'm not going to advertise that. and learn how to deal and haggle the price with your client. Okay, and then agree on that price for a certain quantity or a certain product, you know, these sort of things beforehand. Okay. Well, that's about it, guys. Keep on keeping on, and hope you enjoy the video. Okay, bye.